Good everyone, today's video, and today it's a review on the BF-109 K-4, the last Messerschmitt 109 I have to Spade at the current time. Now there's been talks of people wanting the K-14 in, and personally, yeah, if it works and it does the job, I mean, why the hell not? So let's get into the vehicle as quickly as possible, because I know people love the K4 and people hate the K4. And I know a lot of people are going to want to hear it from a reasonably experienced player. I don't claim to be the best, never have, never will. And they'll want to hear what I thought of the K4. Now, what you're going to remember is I started out in the K4 with, I think it was like 4 deaths or 5 deaths and 2 kills because I used it in Tank RB and just kept getting fucking spanked because of the lack of power. But as I got up in the upgrades, this thing just became a monster. That's for definite. It becomes a monster once you get the engine upgraded and all that. So, discussion now for people in the comments below. Do you think you should put pods on it? Personally, here's my thought. If you're fighting props, yes, I think you should put pods on. But if you're fighting jets, which sometimes happens, don't put the pods on. You're gonna need all the speed that you can get, all the energy retention that you can get, and jets are quite fragile in their wings anyway, for the most part. And I've downed more than a couple of jets just by not using the pods. And the reason why I say use gun pods against props is because props tend to have, for the most part, better firepower than jets. So you're gonna want to be on at least the same wavelength as them. So what's the K4 like to Spade, and what did I get out of it? Well, obviously, if you've seen the subscriber request battle, I had the 30 mil. The 30 mil is probably the worst part about this plane. And I've even seen people run the 30 mil and the 20 mil gun pods. Don't do that. That just completely confuses you. My recommendation is put the 20 mil in as soon as possible. If anything, you're going to want to go for it straight away. Get this 20 mil. Trust me, it's going to make a hell of a difference. And a lot of players campaign to get this in, so I'd recommend doing that because trust me, a stock 30 mil with just 65 rounds and 2 crappy machine guns are worse than a decent cannon and 2 crappy machine guns. Now the K4 is one of the very few, in fact I think it's only one of 3 109s that cannot carry a bomb. Personally, I've researched a little bit and I found out the K series could carry bombs, but to be honest, if you're going to use a 109 in Ground RB, you'd be better off using the G10 personally, simply due to the versatility of that aircraft and having comparable performance to the K4. So, belts. 30 mils as usual, set it to stealth. You're not relying on these. They're there for a reason. They're there to be basically like, if you don't want to fire your 20s at a target, let's say like a artillery piece or something like that, if the game's almost over, just use these. Don't bother using your 20s. 20s as usual, air targets. That really needs no explanation if you've gone down the German tree. Now, obviously, as you can see down there, I've got both tars spaded now, and that means those 3 there, well, obviously this one today and the other 2 at some point, are the last spade reviews for German props, which, well, obviously that may change in the future. There might be some more German props coming, but for the meantime, that is every prop spaded. So I'm working on other nations, like I'm working on Japan. You're going to be seeing a Japan review on the K-4 Otsu. But yeah, I'm getting close to what I wanted to do. I wanted to spade all the props and then move on to jets. But Britain's still got a long way to go. Let's just say that. But yeah, so let's get quickly into the stats of the aircraft, and then we will jump into the actual battle because we had a pretty damn good battle, right? K4. 8 deaths, 33 kills, 67 ground targets. Not the best, not the best, but to be honest, that was pretty okay. To say that I started with a negative KDR, which not many players would be able to turn that around in the majority of situations, especially with the fact that this thing was down on power. This is a spaded engine, just under 2,000 horsepower on weapon, just under 1,400 without it. But if you take off all the engine mods, like so, whatever, if I take off compressor, you can see just how much power is lost. And you can just look at the stat card. Sorry, that was my phone going off. Just got a text message, but yeah, you can see there's almost a 300 horsepower difference both ways. That's a huge amount of power. And obviously, not having wings repair, fuselage repair, yada yada yada, you get the idea. That also makes a huge difference. So, let's get into the, and I know Harry Feet's going to be looking straight up there for the top two there, the Japs there and the K-4 Otsu. We've flying those a bit more, and I'm more than comfortable to do reviews on them now, so yeah, he's going to enjoy the reviews. K-4 yeah, it can work, but you've just got to be, well, obviously those will come out before this video will, but obviously you'll see them, and he'll probably jump for joy or something. So as you can tell, this is a 26-minute battle. So, looks like we've got to jump up the old skipping, haven't we? Don't worry, I'm not going to jump to any conclusions and stuff like that. So, in this battle, this is one of the few down tiers that I actually got. This is a full down tier. We're in a 4-7 game, 5-7 max. And yes, I am carrying the pods because, well, I'm fighting props and I'm in a 4-7 down tier. I might as well. Extra firepower helps. Now, if I was in a 6-7 game with no jets, I would not take pods. But if I was fighting jets, such as the, let me think, those Swedish jets, yeah, you're gonna want to not take pods against those. Yak jets, you can probably take pods against those. Those aren't that quick, to be honest. A2Ds, those things are absolute fucking nightmares to the majority of planes at the BR. You're not gonna, well, you are gonna want to take pods in some situations against them, but in some situations it's not appropriate to take pods against an A2D. So, I spotted this wyvern down here ground pounding, and well, shut up, you noisy bastard. First kill, honestly. If there's one thing I hate about flying at the BRs and doing videos at this, it's those fucking wyverns. Why did it need to be so loud? I get it, it's a turboprop, but Jesus Christ, I don't want a headache every time I meet one in combat. Like, bloody hell. Yeah, there's the pods under the wings. Personally, I didn't feel that much of a difference from having the pods on and pods off. I think people grossly overestimate. But, yeah, just, I think people over-exaggerate the pods difference. I personally don't feel that much of a detriment. However, the detriment is still there. I'm not saying the detriment isn't there, but you're still going to want to not take pods against a full up tier with jets, because that way you've got a bit of extra energy retention, a bit of extra climb, so then that way you can get above them a bit better. And trust me, you'll see what I mean. But the K-84 review is going to piss a couple of people off, let's just say that. Because, let's just say we meet a Rommel. If you don't want to meet, or don't know what I mean by a Rommel, you'll find out. Let's just say that. So, at this point, I can actually hear an aircraft, and I was thinking, is that friendly? Is that enemy? And I look up and I'm thinking, it shouldn't be too much of a concern. He doesn't know I'm here, it would seem, so maybe he might not know I'm fully here. And in this battle, I was half Spade, so I only had the compressor done. I got the engine done after this battle. But at this point, I find a Corsair in the clouds. I'm thinking, okay, I can engage a Corsair, let's do this. However, I think it's this Corsair that is going to give me a bit of a shock. Or is it the next Corsair? I know there's two 1C Corsairs. And there goes the crit. No, it's not this Corsair. It's not this Corsair. There's another Corsair, and you're going to be quite shocked at what he does to try and get on my arse. It's actually pretty funny. So I believe I've just crit the oil system on that Corsair, and well, it's a Corsair. He's not going to do much against K-4. Yeah, is it this Corsair? Because No, I don't think it. I don't recognise the username, so I don't think it's this Corsair because there's a Corsair pilot who does something very unusual which I've never seen before. Oh yeah, that G55 tries to come in and try and fucking steal this kill. Bear might have already done the work, and this G55 dove from about 14,000 feet to come and steal it because, well, G55S's, they don't give a shit. At least that's what I find. Obviously, the reason why I'm struggling here is because the K-4 is very heavy, and I'm struggling to bring it around, which is fair enough, because obviously this thing is absolutely, well, it's a bit of a brick compared to the E-series, let's just say. And obviously this G55 is basically, I'm on the clock now to put this Corsair down. The engine's already failed on the Corsair, and well, there goes the fire, and there goes the kill, second kill. And well, yeah, it just, I don't get why he came in. He should have stayed at altitude, but hey ho, players, that's what you get at this BR. And there's going to be a very useless G55 on this team. Let's just say that. So in this battle, as you can tell, I did not have the 13s upgraded. I normally tend to leave those till last, same with the 30mm. But I got the 13s about 3/4 through the Spade just because I wanted to get those guns online and actually working. And that way I wouldn't have confusing tracer flying in my face, well, flying at enemy's face, so that way I'd know to leave my 20s better. That's a handy little tip. If you're going to use the gun pods, make sure to keep your 13s on stealth. Obviously, these are not upgraded 13s, so you can see the spray and everything. And yeah, there's the Corsair pilot, by the way. That's the guy you're going to want to watch. And he does some really unique stuff, which I've never seen before. And what's one of my golden rules, folks? I'll give you a couple of seconds to answer. Never underestimate your enemy. You're correct. Well done. Well done to those that actually watch my videos and pay attention. Because, well, I always like to encourage people to learn stuff from me. And, I mean, I've still got a lot of stuff to learn. I'll tell you that much. Like, when I jump into jets, I'm going to be a complete twat. I'll tell you that right now. But I'm willing to learn. That's the thing. Like, I've always been willing to learn, just in general, really. So now I'm having to come in and save this G55's arse. I tell him, look, come towards me, but don't turn in front of the Corsair. So what does he do? He comes to me, but turns in front of the Corsair. So he gets his arse blown out the frickin' sky. Ugh. As I always say, money can buy you many things, but brain cells ain't one of them. So now the Corsair has quite a good altitude advantage, and even though it's a 1C, a lot of people underestimate the 1C, and it's actually a pretty okay aircraft. And here is where the specialty starts with this guy, and I was actually quite surprised by him, and you're going to see why. So at this point, obviously he comes down, and I try to get him behind, well, I tried to force the overshoot. But at this point, if you look carefully under his wings, he's actually deployed his landing gear. I was fucking creasing during this battle, but at the same time I had to focus because I didn't want him to get guns on me. But he's put his fucking wheels down to try and force an overshoot, which is freaking smart on its own. And obviously because the Corsair's landing gear is so tough, you can afford to do that. But unfortunately for him, it's not going to work for him, but shout out to you, Hiromana 777, because that was fucking amazing. I've never seen a pilot do that. Third kill. I've never genuinely seen a pilot put down his wheels to try and force an overshoot and try and get me to go in front of him. Never have, never will. Until now, obviously. And, Jesus. Well done to you, mate. Like, that didn't work. I don't know if you were spaded or not, because if you were spaded, you probably could have me there. But, well done. Honestly. Like, I'm giving you a clap for that, pal. That was amazing. But, at this point, my team has been reduced to 3 aircraft. Well, now 2, because the G6 just died. And we have a squad of 2 of P-47s, a Spitfire and a P-51D. And our last teammate is in a G-55S named Dai Chao Zan, which that sounds very Chinese to me, or I don't know, is that more Korean or Japanese? I don't fucking know. You see, like, I've had that much on my mind recently, I just don't remember this shit. But as you can see, this geezer has done absolutely fuck all. Well done. You spend, how much is it to get this plane? Like 30 quid? And you can't even do anything for your team. Congratulations. So, the P-47N has crashed and is now out the fight. Obviously on Xbox, there's a lot of play on Xbox. So there's that. So now, I have to deal with a P-47D, a Spitfire, and a P-51 on my own. And I was debating even taking off, as you're probably going to notice. And I think I actually do call out the G55 in a few moments, because, well, he's absolutely fucking useless. I do actually have a brief conversation with Triple Ace XX. You're going to see that, obviously, but he wanted to know where I was so I could fight him and stuff. But at that point, I actually debated taking off, and I thought, well, I've still got 3 repairs. I had like 2 left in this battle, and I just thought, fuck it. Let's just go for it. Fuck it. No harm in trying. So I'll cut back to the battle, just to briefly get us going. We'll cut back to the battle. Well, here comes the here comes the G55 call out. I just say to him, G55 is AFK if you want him. But it appeared that I was actually going to let Triple Ace get it, but he wanted to engage me, so I had to take him down. He asked me in chat, where am I, and stuff like that, and I respond appropriately, halfway across the map and everything. He then tried to confuse me there, by saying, I just took off from the base. No, he hasn't. He's literally about 5 feet above me. And I'm actually going to spot his contrail. And there he is. There he is right there. And as you can see, I even said to him, like, G55 is AFK if you want him, but he chose to engage me. I was gladly going to let him go and slaughter the G55, but there's not much a P-47 can do when he does a mistake like that, and, well, that's kill number 4. So the Spitfire has just J'd out on the runway, I believe. I think he has, anyway. No, he's crashed, okay. And I even put in chat, you made me jump, because I didn't expect that. So, the last guy is this P-51 Mustang over there. And, well, as much as this guy's a piece of shit, I still have respect for teammates, well, somewhat respect of teammates. And he even says in chat I was going for the 55. I don't think he was, personally, but whatever. I'm not that bothered, because I get an awesome carry. Now, at this point, obviously, I'm heading over to deal with this D30. I didn't know what Mustang it was at the time, but I had a feeling it was going to be a D30 due to the BR. Probably the worst it could have been was a K, and even, well, like, the K and the D30 are actually pretty similar from what I've heard. It's just literally the prop, and even then it doesn't make a difference in Hamilton, even though it should. I can't remember, because I know they use Hamilton standard propellers, but I can't remember, was it Aerosmiths, or something like that? I know Harry Pete did a video on the B-51K, but honestly, I cannot remember it to save my life. But at this point, I'm hunting this D30, and well, Triple Ace has just left. I put in chat, can I get my first ace in this bird? And it was the only ace I got in this bird. Just as a heads up, this is the only ace I could grab out of this plane. Everything else was 2 kills, 3 kills, sometimes even 1, because, well, useless teammates. Trust me, I had my fair share of useless teammates. Dao Charzan being one of them. Thanks for being useful. And if no one caught that, that was sarcasm. So at this point, I obviously want to avoid the AAA, because we all know what inline engines are like for attracting AAA fire. And at this point, this D30 is going to prove to be the typical scumbag that a lot of players despise. Let's give you a couple of seconds to guess what he's going to do. Now that runway beneath us is the secondary runway. That AAA is actually not that dangerous. I mean, it can be, but even so, I'll let you figure it out. I mean, if you can't see a big, massive 2 strips of the runway on your right-hand side of the screen, yeah, you can guess what this guy's going to do. And him being in a D30, he can actually blow my doors off. But obviously, we've got, like, obviously I am catching up. There's no denying that, I'm catching up. But he is running straight for his fucking runway. Mate, you landed on the airfield, at that auxiliary airfield. I wasn't even over there, and you could have just J'd out instead of being a prick and run to your airfield. Of course, I'm going to call him out for it, because I'm that sick and tired of players like this. If you're not even going to bother trying to fight, why bother taking off? There's honestly no point. Yes, I know it's a K-4, but at the same time, D30 is probably one of the better planes to take on a K-4 with. I'm not actually doing a review on D30 because I decided against it. I'm going to do one on the K, the K series P51 in the Chinese tree when I eventually get around to that, because that's going to be my 50th Chinese Spade. At the moment, the plan is to Spade the Chinese T34, the Chinese P38, the Chinese IS-2, and then I'm going to Spade the K. And that will be my 50th Chinese Spade. So there's that. Unless China gets some new stuff in the patch, so that may change. But at this point, I'm obviously having to reclimb because, well, it's D30. It will absolutely spank my ass if I'm not careful. But at this point, we both go into pretty low. Well, we're pretty much entering the clouds at this point. And I'm thinking, he's not going to be daft enough to take a head-on with a K4, is he? I know his 50 cals are arguably similar, if not better, at longer ranges, but surely he's not going to be that daft. This is American pilots we're talking about, though. So, sure enough, he is that daft. Fire burst, get out the way, clips him a wing, but I set him on fire. And I think I actually make a comment in chat. Remember rightly? I don't fucking remember. I'll be brutally honest. There we go. Get fucked, camping shitbag. That's fairly appropriate given the scenario that I was in. But yeah, the K4 is an absolute freaking monster. I have to say that. If you go down the 109 tree, this is going to be the last one, unfortunately, unless they add some more ones, which like the K14. The E2, I want them to add, which is basically just an E3 with an extra gun in the prop hub. Well, that would be pretty nice to have in the game. But, yeah. This is the last one, unfortunately, for the Messerschmitt 109 series. And it tests you. It really does test you when it's stock. But as you get it upgraded, it's just going to be familiar territory, and you are going to clean house if you know what you're doing. But anyway, I'm going to let you guys off. I hope you enjoyed today's review on the K4, and I'll see you all on the next one.